In this video, I want to talk about custom display templates, which allow you to globally change the presentation of some value inside of your model globally, anywhere that value is used in your application. So suppose, for example, let me run this application. Suppose that I have dollar values or dates, and I want to maybe change the formatting whenever a dollar value is displayed in my application on a global basis. Or maybe the dates. I want some logic in the dates to change the formatting and the display of that date based on some criteria that I have. So we'll look at two examples in this video. The first case, we're just going to change the way that decimal values are displayed out throughout the entire application. So I may know that the only time I use a decimal data type is when I'm displaying dollar values. And so to kind of change that, what I have done here is I've added a couple of CSS classes that we'll use for both examples. I have a new currency class, a pre-order class, and an available class. Just remember that I have these. Notice that the currency class will change the font color to green. Okay, so that's the first step. The next step is that I need to go to the Views folder. Inside of the Shared folder, I want to add a new folder. And I'm going to call that folder, and this is important, you've got to do this exactly correct, exactly right. Display templates, like so. All right, and then inside of there, we're going to create a new Razor page. So I'm going to go back here and add a new item. Make sure to choose a Razor view page, and I'm going to name this the name of the data type that I want to apply this custom display template to. So in this case, I want to create a custom display template for the decimal data type. Click OK, or add rather. Now inside here, I'm just going to get rid of everything. I'm going to change this to 125 so you can see what I'm working on. And then this will look a lot like any other view that we've created up to this point. The data model that gets passed in is the actual decimal value in this case. So let's go model. See, it's going to look very similar. And then the decimal value that'll get passed in. And then what I can do is create the template. So we'll go here. Not sure why that guy insists on being way over there. Oh, I see. Yeah, right. Okay, and then I'm just going to create a span, and I'm going to give it a class. Which class will I give it? Well, remember that currency class we looked at in our site.css just a moment ago? Now, here what we'll do is access the model using the capital M, just like we would in any other view, dot. In this case, I want to format this as currency, so I'll use toString, and inside that I'll use a currency formatter. And that's all I should need to do. Oh yeah, there's one other thing that you need to make sure that you're using. There's lots of different ways to display a value from your model into your views. But you have to make sure to use custom display templates. You have to use the display for helper method. That's the only way that this works. Okay. And you can see I have it here, and I also have it in the index.cs HTML. I have the display for displaying the price of my model. Take a quick look at the model. Here's the model's product class. You can see that the price property of the product class is of type decimal. All right, so just want to make sure I have all those things in place correctly, and then I think we're good to go. I'm just going to close all the windows here and then run the application. And you can see that now wherever you see a dollar amount, it's formatted with a $sign, and it's displayed in a green font. If we take a look at the details for any of these, you'll see the same thing. So globally, we've changed the way that decimals are displayed in our application. But what if we want to do something with a little more logic to it? So for example, if we go back here to the list of items, some of these items, these products will be released in the future. Some of them have already been released. If it's going to be released in the future, I want to give it a different formatting. I want to call attention to that product. Can't order it just yet. hasn't been released from the manufacturer. So we'll highlight it in a yellow background and then give it a red font. That should call some attention to it. Now, what we'll want to do in this case, almost identically, is to go to the display templates folder that we created, and we're going to add another Razor view. So go to project, add new item. Make sure that we have a new MVC5 view page in Razor. Now this time what I want to do is I'm going to, I don't want this to be applied globally across all date times. I want to use this judiciously only for those date times that represent the release date of a product. So I'm not going to give it the name date time. I'm going to give it the name pre-order or available. .cshtml, and inside of here I'm going to go ahead and get rid of all of this, and I'm going to start off the same way, model, and then what will be passed in is a date time, and then inside of here we'll do an if statement. So if the model value is less than date time dot now, whoops, getting used to a new keyboard here. We'll display it one way. Otherwise, we'll choose a different way to display it. Okay. So if the model, if the values, if the product's already been released in the past, then we'll use the class available that I showed you at the outset of this lesson. And here we'll just go model dot and then 2 short date strings. So I don't have to display the time as well. I can format it differently for my purposes inside of this custom display template. So that's one of the cases. But what if I wanted to then display it differently again with all the crazy background, the red fonts and everything? Well, then I could create a different display using my if-else logic here. We'll call this a pre-order, and then I can also add some additional text. I can add markup, but in this case I just want to say to be released, and then we'll add model.to short date string. All right, very good. Let's save that. And oh, there's one more thing I needed to do. I want to go back to the product class. Now we said that we want to apply this judiciously in our application, not for all dates, only for specific dates. In that case, I'm going to have to add an annotation here. So I'm going to add a new annotation, UI hint, and then give it the name of that custom display template that I want to use. So what do we call this again? We called it pre-order or available. So pre-order or available, like so. And once again, we have to make sure that in order to use this, we'll have to use the display for, like you see here, the display for helper method, both in the index and the details. Okay, and we are. So let's go ahead and run the application. I think we might get a little error here. No, we should be okay. All right, and notice now the template for that value has changed. But we've done it in such a way that we're able to do a check first to decide which formatting to apply. So we've added a little bit of presentation logic inside of our custom display template. The same would be true then whenever we look anywhere in our application where this release date property in our product class is used across our entire application. All right, so that is, oh, there's one other thing that I wanted to show you. What if we didn't want to use this display template on a global basis, but maybe we only wanted to use it inside of certain views, maybe the views that are in the home folder or in the home controller, not the views for other controllers that might display product information. Well, in that case, what we can do here is actually create a folder, call it display templates, and then create, our display template, a Razor page. We can basically copy and paste this in here if we wanted to, and so that'll make sure that those display templates are only used for those views that are defined inside of the home folder. and nowhere else in the application. Okay, pretty cool. All right, so we're going to look at the corollary to this in the next video, where we're actually able to change the templates that are used whenever you're in edit mode or create mode. And so we'll look at that next. See you there. Thanks.